The chill of November settled over Whitechapel, a biting reminder that the Ripper's shadow still loomed large over the streets. Despite my relentless pursuit, the monster remained elusive, always one step ahead. My mind was a storm of thoughts, my determination a burning flame in the dark. I, Detective Edward Mitchell, knew the Ripper's reign had to end. But at what cost? November 9th, 1888. The date is etched into my memory like a scar. The air was thick with fog and anticipation. Each step I took echoed with the fear of the unknown. My encounter with Mary Jane Kelly weeks earlier had left a lasting impression. She was different, a flicker of defiance amidst the terror that had engulfed Whitechapel. I couldn't shake the feeling that she was in grave danger. That morning, I felt an inexplicable tension. I patrolled Dorset Street, my eyes scanning every shadow, my ears straining for any sound. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the distant toll of church bells. As I neared Miller's Court, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. My heart lurched and I sprinted towards the sound, fear gripping me. The scene that greeted me was beyond anything I had ever witnessed. Mary Jane Kelly's small room had become a slaughterhouse. Her body lay on the bed, mutilated beyond recognition. Her throat was slashed, her abdomen savagely torn open. The sight of her exposed organs and the blood that soaked every surface was a testament to the Ripper's unrelenting brutality. I forced myself to enter, the stench of death overpowering. Her lifeless eyes seemed to bore into me, accusing, pleading. The Ripper had taken his time, his butchery more savage and deliberate than ever before. The room was a testament to his madness, a macabre gallery of death. As I knelt beside her, my hands shook with a mixture of rage and sorrow. The Ripper had claimed another victim and I had been powerless to stop it. The weight of my failure pressed heavily upon me, but I couldn't afford to falter. I had to find a clue, something that could lead me to the monster. Hours passed as I meticulously examined the room, noting every detail. The Ripper's work was precise, almost surgical. This wasn't just a killing, it was a statement, a challenge. The fear that gripped Whitechapel had reached a fever pitch, but so had my resolve. I had to stop him, no matter the cost. Back at my flat, I spread out my notes, the flickering candle casting long shadows on the walls. The faces of the victims haunted me, their silent screams a constant reminder of my mission. I could feel the darkness creeping in, the line between hunter and hunted blurring. Sleep eluded me, my mind a relentless torrent of images and thoughts. One night, as I pored over the evidence, I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the window. The face that stared back was haggard, haunted. Was I becoming like the monster I hunted? The thought gnawed at me, a shadowy whisper in the back of my mind. But I couldn't afford to dwell on it. The hunt had to continue. Days turned into nights, and the investigation consumed me. I followed every lead, questioned every suspect. The Ripper was a ghost, slipping through my fingers time and again. But I couldn't give up. The memory of Mary Jane Kelly's mutilated body drove me, her death a burning coal in my chest. As winter tightened its grip on Whitechapel, the fog grew thicker, the nights colder. I patrolled the streets, my senses on high alert. The fear in the community was palpable, but so was the anger. People wanted justice, and they looked to me for answers. One evening, a new lead brought me to a dilapidated building on Flower and Dean Street. The air was thick with the smell of decay and despair. I questioned the landlord, a surly man with a penchant for gin. His eyes darted nervously as he spoke, and he pointed me to a room at the end of a narrow hallway. I knocked on the door, my heart pounding. The door creaked open to reveal a man who fit the description. Medium height, dark clothing, a shadow of madness in his eyes. My hand hovered near my revolver as I questioned him. His answers were evasive, his demeanor unsettling. There was something in his eyes, a flicker of darkness that sent a chill down my spine. I left the building with more questions than answers, my suspicion gnawing at me. The Ripper was close, I could feel it, but each step brought me closer to the edge. The line between obsession and madness was thin, and I was teetering dangerously close. As the days grew shorter and the nights longer, the weight of the investigation pressed down on me. The faces of the victims haunted my dreams, their silent pleas for justice a constant reminder of my mission. But with each passing day, the darkness within me grew. The hunt was consuming me, and I wondered how much longer I could hold on. Mary Jane Kelly's gruesome fate was a stark reminder of the stakes. The Ripper's reign of terror had to end, and I was the only one who could stop it. But as I walked the fog-laden streets of Whitechapel, I couldn't shake the feeling that the cost of my obsession was higher than I had anticipated. The nights grew colder, the fog thicker as winter approached. The faces of the victims haunted my dreams, driving me to push harder, dig deeper. But with each step, I felt the darkness creeping into my own soul. The line between hunter and hunted began to blur, and I wondered how much longer I could hold on. I reached out to colleagues, subtly probing for insights without revealing the extent of my off-duty investigation. Their responses were mixed. Some were supportive, while others hinted that my obsession with the Ripper case was becoming unhealthy. It was a delicate balance, maintaining the facade of a dedicated detective by day while transforming into a relentless hunter by night. My informants grew wary as well. The fear in their eyes was not just of the Ripper, but of the man they saw before them, me. I had become a fixture in the underbelly of Whitechapel, a relentless presence that neither fog nor darkness could deter. The lines on my face deepened, and my reflection became a stranger. One night, as I combed through the labyrinthine alleys, I stumbled upon a clue, a discarded piece of cloth stained with blood. It was small but significant. I traced its origin to a nearby shop where the owner reluctantly confirmed it as part of a woman's garment. The trail led me to another dead end, but it fueled my determination. The toll of the investigation weighed heavily on my mind and body. My hands trembled with a mixture of exhaustion and adrenaline. The faces of the victims, especially Mary Jane Kelly's, haunted me day and night. I could see her in every shadow, hear her in every whisper of the wind. My vow to bring the Ripper to justice had consumed me, and I wondered if there was any part of me left untouched by the darkness. Yet, amidst the despair, there were moments of clarity. I remembered the resolve in Mary Jane Kelly's eyes, her defiance against the encroaching terror. Her strength became my anchor. I vowed to protect the remaining women of Whitechapel, to be their shield against the Ripper's blade. The hunt had to end, and I was prepared to pay any price. The butcher's work would not go unanswered. The hunt continued, and I was more determined than ever to see it through to the bitter end. The shadows whispered of his presence, but I was ready to face whatever horrors lay ahead.